speakers this morning, and I feel a little bit inadequate because I don't actually have the word environmental energy in my job title. But the point I wanted to make is, though, that I think one of the successes we've had in Whitbread in progressing our journey on the sustainability agenda is the fact we've brought a whole series of different people from different functions together to support the initiative. So what I want to talk to you this morning about really is our journey, where we've got to, where we're going. I wouldn't profess that we've had all the answers, but hopefully you'll find some of the insights and learnings of use to yourself. So in terms of Whitbread today, largest hotel company in the UK, Premier Inn, 42,000 hotel bedrooms, 600 hotels, around about 400 restaurants with the brands you can see at the bottom, Big Food to Brewers Fayre, Table, and Costa Coffee with about 1,000 units. 33,000 employees, so big business, serving many millions of customers every week, every month, every year. Now that in itself, you might say, is a bit of a challenge, but actually our view is if we can get it right, it's a huge opportunity for us. I don't want to get hung up on this, but this is our current vision statement. We want to become the best, most customer-focused hospitality company there is. Now, for us, that's not just about profitability, but it's about the sustainability agenda and what we can deliver to our guests and customers. So why do we think we need to sort of focus on sustainability? Why should we bother? And actually, what does it mean? There are some grand, fancy definitions. I think ours is a lot simpler, doing the right things today for tomorrow. Now, I put this sort of picture up, and we've used this internally quite a lot just to stimulate discussion and debate on the subject. The storm clouds of climate change looming in the distance. Whitbread probably was this great big super tanker sort of looming towards them. We didn't know what we were going to find when we got to the clouds. We actually probably didn't even know when we were going to get there. But what we've been doing is slowly but surely trying to turn the supertanker around, having had a bit of thought and insight into what the future might hold. So where did we start? Well, a few years ago, we did some research in terms of some of our key stakeholders, our customers, our team members and other consumers. And I think overwhelmingly, even at that time, we were finding there was a significant increase and in fact concern regarding the environment. We did some more work with our guests to understand what they were interested in and what was driving and motivating them. And again, significant numbers were concerned about unnecessary use of energy, food waste, and in fact health and nutrition as well. So why do we need to bother? Well, actually, sort of looking across the bottom for us, I think there are probably three drivers. There's a moral obligation, as I say, doing the right thing for tomorrow for future generations. There's the statutory and legislative framework in which we're now operating, and how do we comply with that? And ultimately, the financial opportunity, as we see, to improve our business. And for us, you'll see what we call the 5 C's there on the left. Climate change, compliance, what's happening with customer trends, how we can gain competitive advantage, and what does that mean for our company reputation. And I think in simple terms, it's about just understanding each of those areas. What's happening, giving us a better insight into the future, and then anticipating needs and acting on them. So actually, what did we do? We've been working internally on a whole variety of elements on the sustainability agenda for many years, but probably they lack the focus, they lack the drive, they lack the traction. So what we did, as we've already heard from Eurostar, is we sort of launched our own internal program, and we call our strategy Good Together. And what Good Together is, I don't know if you can read that from the back, is a strategy that brings together all the threads across the business. As I alluded to earlier, we've got a sort of multifunctional team acting as a catalyst for changing our business. So that's myself, marketing, HR, we do have some environmental experts, finance, etc., to try and bring the various threads together and give us some traction. And we believe this strategy is right for our team members, our guests, the communities we work in, our investments, and will give us competitive advantage as well. So what's it all about? Well, we've got 7 themes, ranging from environment, and what do we do about our carbon footprint, our people, how can we work together more effectively and how can we engage them, Sourcing, a big issue. We cast a huge, I'll use the word shadow actually, across many suppliers across the globe. And what should we be doing to support them, to stimulate innovation? We heard earlier about water will be the next oil. We buy a lot of cotton and fabrics. What are we doing to look for alternative materials and help those local communities from where we source? About standards, making sure you've got the right processes in place, and probably more importantly, making sure you've got systems to measure and monitor what you're doing so you can build on that success. And brand reputation, obviously very important. It's great when it's going well, not so great when perhaps the news isn't so good. But engaging our guests, understanding what they want and telling them about what we're doing. Health, clearly a big concern these days, and we have a responsibility to provide the right information to let our guests make the right choices. And then finally community, taking responsibility for the communities we work in and helping and supporting them. But again, as I've alluded to, as a business, we were doing many of these things, but in a very fragmented, non-centralised manner. So what Good Together has given us is an opportunity to engage the organisation and drive us to the next level. So really, what can we do to make a difference? Well, what we've done, we've set a whole series of targets across all of those themes. We're looking to reduce our carbon emissions by 26% by 2020, our water usage by 20%. We're trying to move to moving our operational waste, reducing that by 80% to landfill. Cost of coffee beans, 100%, Rainforest Alliance, building green hotels and low-carbon restaurants, and not forgetting the development of our people, achieving 3,000 qualifications through our apprenticeship schemes, and our community work, which is our nominated charity this year, is WaterAid, and we're looking to raise £1 million for them, and then through the Costa Foundation, building schools in those communities where we source our coffee beans from. But we see it as a huge opportunity to be a leader, move first, build a brand, and take the lead. Now, one of the things I just wanted to focus on specifically is our investment in carbon reduction. As you can see here, our carbon footprint is about 250,000 tonnes of CO2, and that represents about 3% of the total UK hospitality industry. Now, if you think about what that industry is like, it's very fragmented. Yes, there are some big players, but there are a huge number of small players. So clearly, we have a huge part to play in moving forward. Now, I have to say, one of the things I was reading with interest in the marketing information at this particular conference was about a statement, well, you may have actually tackled the low-hanging fruit. Well, we actually thought we tackled the low-hanging fruit, but in reality, once you start to get a bit more of an insight into your businesses and understand what's going on, it's interesting that there is probably more low-hanging fruit than you think. Just a couple of statistics here, a little tedious perhaps, but we waste, or we're wasting 5 Olympic swimming pools worth of water every day because our brand standard dictated the number of times our housekeepers had to flush the toilets. We looked at it, perhaps not surprisingly, we did a lot of work to ensure that it wasn't compromising standards, but as I say, by reducing by one flush, we're saving that amount of water every day. We leave restaurant lights on overnight. We can use that now by switching them off and controlling them, equivalent to heating 1,000 cups of coffee. Perennial problem in the catering industry. Chefs, for some reason, always go in first thing in the morning and switch all their equipment on, even in the height of summer, but we can save a fortune by getting control of that. So not rocket science, but we've managed to achieve some of those savings by getting into the detail, gathering the data, measuring, monitoring, and seeing what that means for us. Sticking with carbon, for us the economic opportunity, a whole series of drivers, so landfill tax, supply costs, building regs and the implication of construction costs, the CRC commitment and what that potentially could cost us over the next few years, huge £50 million utility bill, and obviously the pressure on rates and security of supply around that. The tax landscape around us is changing, enhanced capital allowances, EPCs, the impact on rates, the Energy Building Directive, etc. And then really, the way the government is targeting us quite rightly to get zero carbon construction. So what have we been doing then? Well, we started off by measuring and monitoring. So we've got automatic meter readings from all of our hotels now. And again, over the last couple of years, we've invested about £1 million. But that data from those has been the foundation, really, for all the work we've done in this carbon area. We've done some fairly sophisticated modelling around where the opportunities are to reduce carbon. We've invested in some new build trials, and I'll talk about that in a minute. We've invested in our existing estate, those 1,800 properties, and we've spent a lot of time and effort engaging our teams and our supply chains. So this is Tamworth. This was the UK's first budget green hotel that we built. We're quite proud of it. Nothing very big, nothing very grand, 20 beds. But we use this as a bit of an R&D test bed. So we spent 30% more than we normally do on our construction projects here, and really threw almost everything, including the kitchen sink, in to see what the impact would be, what could we learn, and what could we use in the future. And the effect of that was, as you can see there, we reduced our energy consumption by 80%. A whole series of different technologies that I won't dwell on. The majority worked, but one or two didn't. Water consumption, we saved 66% of the normal water consumption that we'd expect in a normal hotel. So some great results there. So I'm rattling through these. I had the nod from the chairman before I started to go at pace. We then moved on to our second R&D project for new build, which is in Burgess Hill. And this is a hotel and a restaurant. And again, taking the learnings from the Tamworth project and then in fact putting some new technologies in as well. And what we managed to do on this particular project was reduce the extra overcost to about 10%. And again, I won't go through all of these, but rainwater and grey water recycling, high efficiency glass. One that always tickles me is the kinetic energy powered lift. So basically, it's a battery lift that recharges itself every time it comes down. And a whole variety of other technologies and opportunities, but the important thing on the back of this is we're now rolling this out into the rest of our new build programme. This coming year we're probably going to build, 3,500 to 4,000 new hotel rooms, and we've identified 24 areas and technology and solutions that now, having done the analysis, understood the payback, we're looking to roll out and incorporate into our developments in the future. The existing estate, probably a bigger challenge actually than new build. As I alluded to earlier, we've got about 1,800 properties around the UK, some of them very old, listed buildings. As you can imagine, the design and construction of those is quite variable. And again, some of these things aren't actually rocket science, but we have invested, I've put 6 million down here, but we've recently signed off some more money, so we're probably going to be near £7 million this year on a whole variety of solutions and technologies. And we're seeing, paybacks typically on these 2 to 3 years, which I have to say the finance director sits there rubbing his hands, which is great. The other thing I think you should also not forget is how do you continue to drive those benefits 1, 2, 3 years down the line when perhaps all the energy enthusiasm has gone from the initial rollout. A couple of things, don't forget how you look after and maintain that equipment, but probably more importantly, don't forget how to engage and embrace the teams and the people in your businesses. As I said, we've got 33,000 employees in our business, so clearly quite a challenge to get them on board. And again, we've spent a lot of time and effort trying to promote our Good Together strategy, and particularly when it comes to the energy and carbon reduction, getting them on board and giving them the tools that they need. So as you can see here, every one of our properties has been issued with a manual, and this has got all sorts of basic things again, and this is not rocket science, stickers, guides, and what to do. What's actually quite reassuring is when we go out into the business and we talk to our team members who are at the front end, they actually do get this. They talk the right language, they understand the need to do things, they want to do things, and they want to support this strategy. And they actually, probably more importantly as well, want to engage our guests. So that's all fine and dandy, but okay, we then decided that wasn't enough, so we then set all of our hotels and restaurants a task to save 3% electricity, which again, there's a great financial benefit there of about £700,000 a year. As we come to the end of our financial year, which is the end of next month, we're going to hit that target as well. I did focus on the sort of carbon savings because that's, I suppose, where we spent the big money. But actually, don't forget, there are other parts of your business you shouldn't lose sight of. I just wanted to briefly touch on a couple here. This one's particularly close to my heart in terms of what are we doing in sourcing and supply chain. So we spend a lot of time with our suppliers. We're doing sustainability audits with them. And I think one of the things we've discovered is actually, some of them unfortunately don't get it. And we're having to spend quite a lot of time and effort working with them to talk through where their business is, what the opportunities for their business to support us is, and clearly, hopefully, give them some sort of competitive advantage as well. But there's a few things I just wanted to pick up here. The first one is we've got our Costa Cowgo down in Devon. Rumour has it there is one called Nigella, but I haven't been down to see her yet. We've worked with our suppliers then to get rid of plastic milk bottles, containers, and we've moved to milk pouches. And the other just interesting one I'll pick out is the bed. The bed, in marketing speak, is deemed to be the hero of our bedroom. It's a critical element of our product and offering. And we're just doing a piece of work at the moment to try and understand the carbon footprint of that, to understand where the risks are, where the opportunities are, but probably more importantly, what does that mean for other key products in our business, and how do we understand what the carbon footprint of those as well. The bottom point I also think is quite important is can your suppliers and your supply chain actually support your agenda? Again, we've found there's some great innovation going on, but if I'm honest, we're having to help many suppliers and act as a bit of a catalyst for change. Once they're on board, though, they're more than happy to support us, and again, we've seen some great steps forward there. Waste, another big area. As I said earlier, we're looking to reduce our operational waste to landfill by about 80%, and we're well on target to do that. That's, as I say, the probably bog standard mixed recycling, but probably more interestingly is recycling food waste. Yep, on a roll. And we've already got that rolled out to 350 of our hotels and restaurants. And at the moment, that is costing us more money than it would normally do. So again, we're investing in the future. Our belief is, though, that once some of these things become the norm, costs will come down and actually we could be saving money. Somebody touched on construction waste earlier. We now monitor all of our construction waste arising from all of our projects, and we're pleased to see that we've got virtually zero construction waste from the Burgess Hill project went to landfill. So we're particularly proud of that, and we're looking to see and take the learnings from there to our other projects. Only a couple of slides to go. Health, I mentioned earlier, very important to many of our guests. We're working with Food Standards Agency, DEFRA, looking at salt, fats in our menus, and I think more importantly, providing the right information for our guests to make choices. This is not about telling them what they should or shouldn't eat, but it's about allowing them to make those lifestyle choices that they see fit. Almost finally then, this for me sort of pulls together the sort of top to bottom approach. So, getting some corporate leadership, driven from the top, and you might argue in our organisation it sort of started in the middle. We then managed to engage our senior executives and our board. They then got behind our Good Together strategy. By getting that leadership from the top and that focus through whatever branded campaign you may have, you can drive that commitment from your teams. You can then get extra effort, they'll go the extra mile. That, in our view, increases customer and guest satisfaction and ultimately improves revenue and growth and profitability. So for us, Good Together, and it is about lots and lots of small things across our businesses in all sorts of different areas coming together to make a difference. We believe it's good together for our guests, our team members, the communities in which we work, and in fact our investors. But what does the future hold? Well, I'm not quite sure. I think all I can say is nothing's going to stand still, and where we are, we will continue to focus in this area, continue to try and gain insight into what may or may not happen in the future, and react accordingly.
Thank you, Nigel. Thank you very much.